Okay, let's dive into Fallout Season 2, Episode 5, because I don't want to waste your time and we got a lot of stuff to review. So first of all, this episode starts off where we left off with Episode 4, which is Lucy and the Ghoul are right in the middle of the strip after it's been taken over by Deathclaws. The Deathclaws are coming out of Gomorrah, and this is obviously a nest, obviously leading to multiple Deathclaws being seen in this scene. I love the Deathclaw design, and I know I didn't make an Episode 4 video. I will be working on that, probably releasing it during the weekend after I film this one and upload it, but this was really cool. I love the design of them, and I think it's great. Now, Lucy and the Ghoul obviously escaped. They weren't going to die here because we've seen them in multiple scenes past this, but I think this is a good setup to just how scary Deathclaws are, where the Ghoul isn't even willing to try to take them down because he knows how tanky they are. Shout out New Vegas Deathclaws. Now, moving on, after they escaped this because they saw dog meat run out of one of the entrances and they threw a bomb as a diversion, they're outside trying to figure out how to get into the strip and find Hank. Now they are in Freeside. Freeside is one of the areas in the game where there's a lot of vendors, a lot of quests, the Atomic Wrangler, the Kings, tons of merch shops, the Mormon Fort. So a lot of locations to explore the game, and I really do like how they recreated it. You may be wondering why there's more people in Freeside than usual. Well, that's actually how Freeside is supposed to be. The reason why you never saw this amount of people in Freeside in the game is just because of the game's limitation. There was always meant to be this giant group of people there, but it was never successfully added. But moving on with the story, we get to see Ghoul and the Lucy go on separate quests in this area in Freeside. The Ghoul is heading over to the Atomic Wrangler to get a drink and just kind of decompress, and Lucy is going to go get a Dictanol to cure herself of the buff-out addiction that she currently has, leading her to go to Sunny's vendor and the Ghoul to go to the Atomic Wrangler. The Atomic Wrangler looks a little bit different on the inside, but I do like this redesign in contrast to their New Vegas appearance. I just think it looks cleaner on the inside and way more like a bar, casino, hotel. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about it? But now let's talk about the bartender. The bartender, before serving Cooper, explains that these Deathclaws are from Quarry Junction and they're taking over the strip, but he compares it as just another Legion NCR battle and it really won't mess with him. I personally think that there's a little bit more going on with the Deathclaws. Yes, they could just be from Quarry Junction, and yes, that is a simple way the game and show could kind of explain them being here. But I can also just easily see them being used by Hank. Maybe he manipulated them to come from Quarry Junction to go stay on the strip to kind of defend himself as he works on this. Something along that line. That's just my opinion, though. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit more behind that. But it leads to Cooper having a flashback scene in the bar because he wants to think about the past because he's now in Vegas to pre-warp Vegas. So we finally get to see it. It looks fantastic. They did such a good job with it. Now, obviously, Cooper is here to kill Mr. House. It's been kind of the premise of the pre-war scenes since episode 1. Cooper is there on a mission to go kill Mr. House. We get to see him and Moldover talk in a phone booth in the McCarran Airport some sort of airport in Vegas prior to him going onto the strip to go kill Mr. House. Obviously, she still wants to go forward with that option, but Cooper wants to reason with him first because he does not want to kill a person over this. He doesn't want to kill somebody. He is trying to not be a killer. Obviously, we know he is a killer. During all these scenes, they're traveling with Hank McClane. Hank is currently carrying the cold fusion. It is like locked onto his hands, and he is now a security risk, and he says he's going to be an assassination target. So I don't think that's going to maybe happen. Maybe Cooper may try doing something to him in a future episode to get him kind of kicked out of the Vault Tech stuff. We'll wait for that. It seems like Cooper was going down the angle towards the end of the episode because he kept on looking at that briefcase. And it's kind of obvious he may try gunning for that briefcase because he thinks that that's going to lead to the end of the world, which it may be. But moving on, in front of the Lucky 38 casino when they pull up, you get to see the senator again. The senator may be a little boring character, but she is very important because it just kind of shows how powerful these companies are, because that is a U.S. Congresswoman. They are just kicking on the doorsteps. They're not even letting the people have a reasonable decision in what's going on with their country, and she's trying to protest that, and she gets kicked literally off of the Lucky 38 steps to only get picked up by Cooper, and also kind of showing that Cooper still has a lot of faith in the American people. Once Cooper goes inside the Lucky 38, he starts following Hank around because he thinks that that's where all the business is going to take place because he has the cold fusion in a briefcase. Now, he follows him upstairs in Lucky 38, but Mr. House, the fake Mr. House, comes down the elevator to go tell Cooper that he needs to go upstairs to go talk to the real Mr. House. Upon opening the elevator up there, we get to see a pre-war Victor. I love the pre-war Victor because we finally get to see what he looks like when he's 100% working and not full-on rusted or trying to help the courier or explain to Cooper where Rangers are. I like this design, and I just like the Securitron units. I think they're just very cool. But moving on, we get to see Mr. House in front of all of his computer terminals, and he basically tells Cooper that he knows he's there to kill him. Then the scene cuts, moving on to the chicken friend. The chicken friend, and I cannot say the other word, is currently on his way to Vegas with the fusion core to give it to a special Protectron named Fisto. But unfortunately, his little date gets ruined when Hank knocks him out and takes him to go test his project on. Now, awesomely enough, the project works. We finally get to see more of Hank's storyline progress now that he finally got his mesmetronic-like device working and hypnotizing people successfully to fill out and do orders from him, basically control the person. Also, when Hank is driving by, we get to see Cooper's family. They are actually in cryostasis in that Vault Hotel that's underneath Vegas. We still don't know the exact location, if it's part of Vault 21, if it's its own thing, we don't know yet. We'll possibly get that explained in another episode. But we get to head back to Norm's storyline. Norm is on his way over to Vault headquarters when him and his Bud Askin wannabe assistants arrive. And it's really cool. I really do like the design of the pre-war version compared to the post-war version. Also with how they interact with all the skeletons there, like, oh, those the janitor, that's the secretary, because, I mean, they were alive during then, and it makes sense for them to point out who those skeletons most likely belong to. But it turns out this place is being used by Ma Jude, who got kicked out of Philly when the Brotherhood of Steel burned it down, unfortunately. I really did like that town. I really did like the aesthetic. I'm sad it's all gone due to the Brotherhood. But she is raising a little roach farm in the elevator, which causes a lot of the Vault Tech people to be scared. Now, Norm has a discussion with Ma Jude, trying to figure out where his sister is, and it turns out Ma Jude thinks that Lucy is dead. Norm disagrees, but decides to try to figure something out or try to find out what's happening to Vault 32 and Vault 33. Now, we actually get a cut back over to Lucy, and Lucy is still in Freeside heading over to Sunny's. Sunny's is just another store in Vegas, and what's really cool about Freeside is the amazing set design and all the people wearing costumes. It totally fits the vibe of New Vegas, and I really do hope that when we get a remaster, we finally get to see all those NPCs that were supposed to be in Freeside, but due to the engine's limitations, were just not there. We also get to see the Kings in the background, just not like the Kings themselves, but the building. So maybe they're still alive, maybe they're still roaming. Maybe we'll get to see more of them instead of the Feral Ghoul versions. I certainly do hope so. But she goes into Sunny's store because she's going to try to steal the Addictinol because she does not have enough caps to buy it, as it's 1,000 caps. And yes, that is a ripoff for Addictinol. While inside the store, she grabs the Addictinol and a Power Fist. The Power Fist will be used later, just remember that. I also do like all the other Fallout weapons being on display there, just really cool. We also get to see the new Vegas double barrel shotgun. I always like that one. But looks like Sunny is dead. Looks like there's a person that broke into the store naked, killed him, took his clothes, and is trying to become him. Lucy defends herself, which Lucy kills him, and is very shocked by that because it's her first time killing a human, and she doesn't really know what to do exactly. So she's just kind of out of place, and she leaves the store quickly to go use the Addictinol in the streets. But moving on, we get to go see Cooper and Mr. House talk some more, as we get to learn Mr. House was seeing the demon in the snow last episode, and he believes that there's another player at the table trying to drop the bombs, confirming that Vault Tech did not drop the bombs. They want to propose the plan, but you need to remember, the Enclave is a very big player post-war, and they're not going to reveal themselves at a stupid board meeting like that. They're probably going to use Vault Tech, which is owned by the Enclave to some degree, as a reason to propose ending the world because the Enclave wants a fresh slate, and they want to control it all. And what better way if no one else exists? Mr. House does not know who the other player is, nor does Cooper, but Mr. House believes it's the demon in the snow, the creator behind it, and he also believes there's a lot more going on, and unfortunately, he does not believe he is the house in this game, but he's still going to try to win. And that's why he's building all the rockets to defend Vegas. As we get to see him put on his little helmet that he has in the video games, basically confirming that he unfortunately does not get the cold fusion that he so badly wants. I personally believe Vault Tech is going to steal his plans for the mesmetronic device after they see it in the next episode. We'll talk about that next week. Now, Cooper, after being called a killer by Mr. House, wants to drink away his feelings and belief, and he goes on a major crash out, just drinking a ton of alcohol and then riding a nuclear whistle, to only be grabbed by his wife and taken to a hotel room so he kind of calms down and gets out of this alcoholic state. But he wants to talk with her. We're probably going to see that next episode, as we kind of saw a teaser for that. So that storyline is paused for now. Moving on back to Norm. Norm is currently still trying to figure out what the whole plan is. One of Bud's assistants wants to turn on the radio to contact the future entrepreneur ventures. That group is the Enclave. He wants to open the radio to contact the Enclave. I don't know if you've seen the Enclave's policy on Vault Tech lately, but it pretty much involves murdering them. So he's probably going to die due to the Enclave he is contacting. That's my bet, though. But Norm and one of his friends that's not brainwashed by Bud Askins goes upstairs to Barbara's office to figure out what FEV really means, and obviously it's the forced evolutionary virus. This was incredibly easy. I made a theory video on it last week. A bunch of people were calling it. It's not that hard to figure it out, okay? There was a few people trying to argue with me about it. It's FEV. It was pretty obvious. Sorry, I get a little angry about that one. But the FEV is very important, as it's finally going to showcase supermutants at the end of the season. I would not be surprised if during the final episode we get to see Marcus or other supermutants attacking stuff. Supermutants, while not extinct entirely, are still around the New Vegas area, especially in Jacobstown. And I would not be surprised if they do make some sort of appearance in the show. Because, come on, they kind of have to at this point. Seeing supermutants would be amazing. But when Norm's friend leaves the little office that they're in, one of Bud Askins' top assistants attacks Norm and basically knocks him out. So we'll see that storyline get resolved either in the next episode or in episode 7. So now we're done for that, and back to the final bit of storyline that we get for this episode, which is Lucy and the Ghoul. Turns out the brainwashed chicken friend is now inside of the Atomic Wrangler, communicating on behalf of Hank. He makes a deal with the Ghoul. In exchange for Hank not killing his family, he has to return Lucy to her original vault. The Ghoul agrees to this deal and knocks out Lucy. Lucy feels very betrayed by this, and before succumbing to the knockout, whatever thing the Ghoul shot at her, uses the power fist that she picked up from Sonny's and punches him outside the window, impaling him. The Ghoul is not dead. I saw a lot of people talking about this. The Ghoul is not dead. In the TV spot for the next episode, which you can go currently watch on Amazon Prime, showcase him climbing out of that and it taking them a long time. So I wouldn't be shocked if throughout the entirety of the next episode, he is trying to get off of that pole, and that basically will bench him for a good amount of it. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. Unfortunately, Lucy succumbs to the knockout juice that the Ghoul shot her with, and Hank goes and picks her up and is probably going to go and take her over to the vault to either brainwash her, to mind control her, to do some sort of experiment. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I thought this episode was amazing, and at the end, during the end credits scene, we get to see a little glimpse into Gomorrah. It's a Deathclaw nesting pit. It was pretty obvious, but out of all the hotels and casinos to deserve that, Gomorrah definitely deserves it the most. What do you guys think about this episode? I thought it was amazing. If you have any more tips or anything I can do to make these YouTube videos better, please let me know. I'll be getting the episode 4 video out shortly after this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.